Hi everybody, let's do layout 2 of the List Party collection. And I'm going to be doing a little dry embossing with my trimmer on this because I think the Ballerina paper that we're going to use needs a little texture to it. So let's get started. Let's start with a little dry embossing. I think that this page just looks plain. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scoreboard here. You can also use your trimmer and the dry embossing tool. Just do it in the groove. And let's have some fun with this. This is from the Close to My Heart Makers. Got a special cutting instructions and design for ourselves, and I'm going to share that with you. And so we're going to start on layout 2, and you're going to need to have already done your dry embossing, which I just did a video on that. And let's do a little prep first. You're going to need your balloon stamp, and this is going to be in black ink. So intense black will work, but any black will work, frankly, because we're not actually coloring. Intense black is usually used for when you're going to do some coloring. And we won't be doing it on this one, so any black will definitely do. Make sure you get it coated well, and then press and hold it down for a minute so it really sinks in. And I just kind of moved my balloon, so let's see how that turns out. Hold it down for a second. I think it's still gonna be okay. A little bit lighter than I would have liked, but that's all right. All right, so, and then the other thing, so they want you to do this stamp here, is just a number. So on the layout that they used, the lady was 56, and so 56 is just a number. I'm actually going to be using, and I already smeared my thing, but that's okay. I'm actually gonna be using the number 9 for my nephew's birthday. And so it's just a number, doesn't really go well with that, obviously, because when you're young, it doesn't matter. It's not just a number anymore. It's a big deal, right? So he was 9. So I'm gonna use the TH instead, and I'm gonna move the number over onto this. If I can make sure that I stop messing, getting it dirty, which I already am. So I'm just gonna put the TH here in the middle, and I'll put the number next to him. And then I also noticed that because my cutting was a little rough, I actually will trim this down a bit, I think, because this is going to be a little large. But if you're using a big number and you want to do that joke that it's just a number, you're not going to trim this down. You're going to put it's just a number on here. But I think I'm going to, I wonder if I might even want to trim it all together with scissors. I think I will. So let me grab some scissors here. And I think I'll just trim, do some fussy cutting around it instead. And I'll just attach that to the number once I do it. All right, so the date today, I think, is the 10th of January. Can you believe already? We just had New Year's. We're having a big storm tomorrow. It's supposed to get 6 inches. And that's a little bit of a bummer because my husband and I are working on looking at open houses to try to find a house to move into down here in Illinois. And so it might curtail the amount of open houses there are, and also not make it so much fun to go around and do those. All right, this is done. That's your prep for that. So we'll see how the weather all turns out, because the other day they said we were going to get 6 inches and we got 3. So this, may not be as bad as they say. All right, this piece, and you can do your if you did your dry embossing, you can go horizontally or vertically. If you go horizontally, it's kind of cool because you can kind of line up things on that. I think I kind of like to go vertically, so I'm gonna do that today, and it's not gonna be that hard to line up anyway. So I'm going 1/4 inch from the bottom here. Let me move this up so you can see better. It's so hard to know exactly where my camera is placed on this. I should make a mark, I usually do, on my desk so that I know where I'm going to be at. But I think I've got a pretty good estimate here on where my camera's at, so hopefully you can see. So get some glue on the back of this. This shouldn't take too long. This is not as complicated as the first one, although we have to do some measuring. So here we are at 1/4 inch. Excuse me, and it's going to be 1/4 inch from the sides. So just like that. And then here's where it gets a little bit tricky. We're going to attach some pieces down that are kind of slightly tilted. And so they've got their measurements for that. I'm going to pause for a moment because I need a drink, and oh good, we'll adjust this too because I feel like my throat is getting a little dry. So first piece is 2B, which is this. Instructions are below in the comments, so, or in the it's not comments, what do you call it? I don't know, the intro or whatever that's down below this video, so you can find them there. So it's going to be 3/8 inch from the side of the confetti paper, 5/8 inch from the bottom. So I'm going to kind of go about 3/8 of an inch over here. 1, 2, 3, and then 5/8 inch from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the right hand side it's going to be 1 inch. It looks like, no, wait, that's the next one. Oh, actually, they're not doing too much of, it's a 1/2 inch from the bottom here, and but 3/8, that's where you're gonna get the tilt. So down here at the bottom, I put my ruler at the bottom of the confetti paper and went up 5/8 of an inch. Now here on the left-hand side, it says that you're gonna go over 1/2 an inch for this lower corner. And then you're going to go about 3/8 of an inch up here, which I'm just going to estimate kind of by looking at my ruler here. So I just tilt it like that. Now, if you'll notice on this, this kind of disappears into the back of the paper. So if you want this paper to stand out a little bit more, if you want these pieces to stand out, go ahead and just dress the edges with a little bit of color. I would not use black. I think that'll be a little too much, even though we got black in this layout. I would probably use like a light gray, or maybe the blue in here, whatever blue this is, probably blueberry or something like that. Don't go too wild because black is going to make it really kind of take away from the brightness of the paper. So so you can do that, or you can just go ahead and go with this the way it is and let this blend in a little bit because your photos are supposed to be the highlight anyway. Okay. Number 2 piece, it says 1 inch from the bottom, but it doesn't say how far over. So we're going to just have to estimate, and that's going to be this striped piece here. And so I'm just going to estimate by looking at the photo. So here we go. We've got this, it looks like it's about 1/2 an inch over on the checked paper, and then 1 inch from the bottom. So let me put my ruler down there. 1 inch from the bottom, from the confetti, the bottom of the confetti paper. And then I'm just gonna go about 1/2 an inch into where this is. Now let me see, did they tilt this? This looks like this one's straight up and down. So I'm gonna kind of go, let me give you guys a measurement just to help you. From the edge of the pink paper to where I'm gonna set this down is going to be about at the number at 4 inches in. That's from the edge of the whole layout. I'm gonna go about 4 inches in, and then I'm gonna set that down so that it's pretty much straight along the edge of my ruler here. Okay, and then the last piece this Yay paper. That's going to be a 1/2 inch from the edge and 3/4 from the bottom on the left hand side and 1/2 on the edge. So I'm going to go to a 1/2 inch mark here. 1, 2, 3, 4 little squares on my ruler. And that's going to be where the lower corner is going to be, and it's going to be about a 1/2 inch in from the confetti paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to put the tiniest dot there. And then I'm going to go up 3/4 inch from the bottom of the confetti. I wanted that, actually, that's going to go a little further up because it's 1/2 inch from the bottom of the confetti paper. So let me move this up a 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch in from the confetti paper. So forget what I just said. Start at the confetti paper, go a 1/2 inch up and a 1/2 inch in and put your dot. And then I'm going to go up just another 1/4 inch, and this one's going to overlap slightly, so I'm just going to put sort of, you know, a dot, just light dot over there, just so I know that it's going to tilt a bit. And we want to kind of cover those dots, except for the one that I made a mistake on. It'll never show anyway. So it's going to go kind of like that and tilt it slightly over those 2 dots. Okay? Not too hard. All right, now we've got to put on our photo mats. I've already put, I'm trying to use up all of these little pop dots I have because I have so many of the little ones and not as many of the big ones. So I've got those all taken off, all the back pieces, so that this is ready to sit down. This is going to go 2.5 inches down from the top. So let me just turn my paper here. And 1 3/4 inch in. So if I do the 2.5 inches, and this time I'll use a pencil because that's lighter paper up there, and I'm just going to kind of put a real light line there, and maybe a little bit more over too, because I want to get that right, because it's going to be 1 3/4 inch. So now I'm turning this whole paper to the left hand side so I can put my 1 3/4 inch in from the side here. So right there, match it up on the bottom. Now I'm 1 3/4 inch in from the left. Now it's all the way from the pink paper, not from the confetti paper this time. I'm going to grab my photo. So here's my line for how far down it's going to go. And then it's going to go this far over. So I'm just going to cover up my pencil marks so I don't even have to worry about erasing them. And remember, this is not an exact science. It doesn't matter if you can just slap them on there any way you want. Okay, so that's not that big of a deal. On this side, the picture is going to be 3 inches down, and it's going to be 1.5 inches in. So let's do the 3 inch pencil mark first. 3 inches down. And it's just going to go 1.5 in, so I'll move this over just slightly. And that's going to go about there. And then it's going to go 1.5 inches in. Now remember, I'm on the right hand side now. And we're going to go 1.5 inches in. And make sure it's even on the bottom. And I also have taken off my little pieces for this. And I'm going to lay this down over that pencil mark. And it, slid out of my hand. There we go. And along the edge of the ruler. Like that. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. So there's my nephew. His name is Everett. He lives in Lansing, Michigan. And has a brother and a sister. Okay. Looks like next we can do some decorating, and then we're going to put in a journal strip. Now, this is the journal strip that they have you cut. I highly recommend that you buy these instead. Journaling strip stickers from Close to My Heart, codes Z4673. They come in 2 sizes, and then you cut the length. So much easier than having to cut a piece of paper to do this, okay? So let me make sure everything's lined up. Good, okay. So now we're going to do the happy birthdays. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. This is going to be stickers mostly. we've got, we're just going to do this banner. And they don't make it easy on this one. Because I can see that the, usually you can kind of pick which letter is going to be the center one, and this way, the way they tilted it, makes it a little more difficult. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go with the I as the center piece here, and I'm going to bring it down maybe about 3/4 of an inch to an inch down and tilting it. And we're going to do the word birthday first. Now I'm looking, and it looks like it's a little bit over about, you know, maybe 3/8 of an inch over into this section of this photo, but about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, so, or from the top of the page. So I'm just going to kind of put that there, and we'll work on birthday first because it kind of has its own tilting, and then we'll work on happy. So now we can go and start with the B, or go next to the B. I find when you're doing these kind of a curvy look, work with the top corners. And I'm going to put this about 1/8 of an inch away from that top corner. And I'm going to go with the R, 1/8 of an inch, and because this has to kind of really swirl over here, I'm not going to curve it too much. I'm almost going to do this one straight, because the curve is a long one, if you know what I'm saying. It's a long one. It's not just like that. So we've got to make it kind of last. So this one also will be just, you know, almost straight, but again, about 1/8 of an inch from the last one. So I'm not turning it much, just the slightest little angle there. And then we can start to just turn as we get to the H. I'm going to turn that again, trying to put those corners together. And now you can see we're getting a little bit of a curve here. And we can curve just a slight bit more here. Again, about 1/8 of an inch away from that, the top of that. And the A. And then lastly, the Y. And I think that looks pretty good. And it looks about what they did on the page. So now let's do the other one. We've got a sticker first that kind of delineates between the two words, and that is this one here. So to the left of that, I could celebrate you every day. And you just kind of going to put that, that's going to be the little stopper. Now we'll do the happy, and I'm going to start with the Y because we know about where our birthday is here. And I'm going to tilt this more because we don't have as much space here to do our tilting, so it's going to be a little more dramatic tilt. And this one will still be slightly tilted. We're just kind of thinking of a curve this way, okay? And the P, 1/8 of an inch. And the A, curving it a little bit more. So the next one is going to be close to the top like this one was. And that's about 1/4 inch down for the top corner. Okay, that looks good. That looks really good. Let's see what else we need to do up there. Now we're going to add a few of the little doodads. We've got the word yay right here. Let's pop it up since I have so many of those dots. So I'm just going to see that I have tons and tons and tons of these. Let's put this over here. And I'm not sure if I talked about it, but I did pop up these. I know I said that I used pop dots, but the reason why is because it really makes it stand out. And especially with busy paper like that, it's really nice to pop your pictures up so they kind of stand above that busy look. And the yay goes right there. Now, if you are a person that likes flat scrapbooks, just ignore all of that and go flat on it. All right, now got my little bit hardier glue here for some of these. This is a plastic acrylic star from your bunch. And then up here is going to be a little pink, and I'll show it closer so you can see it because it is pretty tiny. I just call that, what do I call that? A burst? Like a burst, or I don't know. I'm not sure what the technical name is. And over here is going to be a black small star. Like that. See how this one is going much faster than page 1. And of course we had a lot of prep and cutting on that one too. Okay, those 3. And then over here, I think we need a sticker. So it's this blue sticker right here, this star. And that's going to just overlap at the top here. Oh, I love these. You know, sometimes I look in the catalogs and I look at these and think, I don't like it. I don't like it, you know. And then I get it and I put it together and I love it. A red star. And this is one of those cases, because when I first saw that, I didn't think I liked this paper. And now look how cute it started out for my nephew and niece's birthdays. All right, so this one I'm gonna pop. So, because this is gonna overlap onto the picture, and I think I'll overlap right there, because right there in that photo is something that doesn't need to be in the photo. It's just kind of a toy or something in the background, so that can be covered easily. So I'm going to put some pop dots over here to the left hand side. Because it's going over the photo, you're going to have to pop it up if you popped up your photo. And I'll put one here on one of these points of the star. And then just let it, it's going to stick. Let me see where that is. Yeah, it's going to stick onto the photo too. All right, like that. So that covers up the little thing in the back, and I might just stick one more under another one of these points here. And, I need to put it a little bit deeper or cut it down. Go a little deeper under that star point. Okay, there we go. Would look good with stickles. We might play with that in a minute. All right, and sometimes it's hard to see on these, so I'm gonna look really close and see if I'm missing anything else in there other than, yep, I am. So black and white starburst things, and those are going down here on this. So I'll make 2 dabs of glue. Black and white. All right. Now, I am going to pull out my journaling strips to do the little journaling strip, but if you don't have those, you can use this. Just cut it to the size you want. If you don't journal at all, you guys, you got to journal at least minimum name, event, place where it, you know, place where it takes place, and who's in the pictures. So who's in the pictures, the date, where it takes place, and the event. At the very least, try to do that. This has got a little bit of pen marks on it, but it won't matter because I'm going to, I think they put it on straight, so I'm going to use my ruler here. I'm going to journal on this anyway, so it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of mark on there. And I'm just going to kind of put it there. And you could do more than one if you had a lot to say. All right, so there we go. There's page 1 for Everett, and we'll move on to page 2. Oops, almost forgot. I wanted to use a little stickles. Now, this page, I'm not using the Bluebird shimmer brush to sprinkle. I think that would be too busy for this page because it's already pretty busy. But for stickles, I think I am going to put a little dot in these little starbursts here. Just to add a little sparkle. And that's probably it for this. And then we'll see what there is on page 2 that we can do. All right, let's get going on page 2. This one will not have that base of the confetti paper like the other one, so you're going to just do a lot of measurements. Use a pencil. This top one's going to be about 3¼ inches down from the top of the page, and it's going to be 3/4 inches from the left-hand side of the page. So I just put my mark at the 3¼ inch mark there, and because you do it in pencil, and also because you can cover it, you know, it doesn't really matter too much, you know, where you put it, because you're going to actually cover it up. So I just went right over the pencil mark at the top, and I didn't make a pencil mark on the left. I used my ruler as my base there to help put that together. These ones go together fairly quickly because they're just measuring, and no tilting, I don't think, on any of this. So on this second one, you're going to be 3/4 inch from the top, and you're going to be 3¼ inches from the left-hand side. So you make your pencil mark there, and then go ahead and just lay that down. And again, these are not needing to be perfect. So if you tilted them or they're not on straight, it really isn't going to matter on this because it's all background for the photos. So the yay piece is going to be 1¼ inch from the right-hand side, and what is that? 1¼ from the top. So that's another easy one, and just put that down. See, they're just going to layer over each other. So how they go down doesn't matter too much as long as they're sticking out a little bit. For the striped one, 1/2 inch from the right-hand side and 3 inches up from the bottom. If you don't like these sides of the paper, you can go on the other side and use something different. But yeah, Close My Heart does do some busy paper sometimes, and so that's why you know, it doesn't hurt to do a little distressing if you want to ink the edges a bit. That'll make it pop out more. You could double matte these photos that you're going to use here, and maybe put them on like the dark blue after using the white first, you know. So there's lots of ways you can make them pop out. On that checked piece, you're going to go 1/2 inch from the bottom, 2¼ from the right-hand side. And now we're on, I believe, the last piece, the confetti one, which is 3/4 inch from the bottom and 1¾ inch from the side. Again, none of these tilt like on the first page, so they go down pretty easy. All right. Now, what's interesting about the photos on this one is they are actually going to be touching. And so here's where I made my mistake. Somehow I was measuring for the photo, and instead of putting it at 2 3/4, I put it at 3 3/4 inch down. But you're going to put it at 2 3/4 inch down, and it's 2 inches from the left-hand side. So you're going to see mine looks a lot lower than yours is going to, and that's just because I measured wrong and did 3 3/4. But it's 2 3/4 from the top and 2 inches from the left-hand side. So once you get that one down, the other two aren't so hard because it's going to be 2 inches from the top, but they're going to be touching the big photo. So all you have to do is just line it up with that. So 2 inches from the top for the 3x4. And you can see I popped all of these up too. I used a lot of pop dots on these. And then the 4x4 is going to be right under it. So you don't even need a measurement for that. So just put it right under the other one. Then all of a sudden I realized, uh-oh. You know, I started to do this. I was going to move on, and I realized, wait, something's wrong with the photo because I don't have much space down here. Whoops. So luckily I hadn't pressed too hard. So only the pop dots on the very bottom stuck to the paper. So I was able to kind of get that up, and I moved that up to the 2 3/4 where it should have been. And once I did that, I pulled out my handy dandy undo and poured it all over those pop dots. And if you've not used undo, that's one of the best products ever. We do not sell it, so you're going to have to kind of get it on Amazon. I don't see it in regular stores much. And then I just used my little Cricut spatula to pick those babies up and took them right off. And then after you use undo, it gets the paper wet, but then it dries. And when it dries beautifully and doesn't damage your paper, and any stickiness comes back magically. So all those pop dots actually could have been used again. So now go ahead and do some of your decorations. I think in the left hand side we've got the little starburst, and then a green sticker, green heart sticker, and then a red star sticker. And then what are we going to do? Over left hand side, the black star, and then pull out Oh, I'm still going to decorate. So I'm going to, that one that's hard to tell on your paper, but it's kind of this little polka dot black and white heart. And then you're going to need a blue star. That's the acrylic one. Glue it on. And then you've got a yellow heart sticker there. And now I believe we're going to work down on the bottom. So you've got that hello balloon that you made. And you can see mine didn't turn out really good, but who is going to look at it and care, right? And then there's an acrylic balloon and an acrylic string to the balloon that you're going to need to glue down. And then on top of that balloon, we'll put a white star. So 3 acrylic pieces are going to make this bit. Just like that. Remember to use a glue that really sticks with plastic. And then find your little white star and stick that down. And then the last piece on this, I have my number 9. Remember, I changed that from a big number and it's just a number stamp set to actually doing the letters TH. So that would work with my page. You know, you always want to change it to make it work with your page. So don't get caught up in the details. Just make it work for your stuff. And I probably will add a little bit of journaling later on this, just because there's some cute little things on it, and I want to make sure I've labeled everybody. And I only, on the first page, all I did was wrote a little bit about how Everett has changed over the last year. He used to be a little bit of a handful, and he's really starting to grow up, and I've seen it, and I'm very happy to see it. And it's so funny because it was the same with his big brother too. You know, as he grew up, he started to behave so much better. But they are lucky to have good parents. So here's the 2 pages, and I hope you love it.